All right, let's jump right in. We're going to talk about a metal you think you know, silver. But stick with me here, because I promise you, by the end of this, you're going to see it has this secret identity that is no joke powering our entire modern world. Now, really, take a second. When I say silver, what's the first thing that pops into your head? You're probably picturing a pirate's treasure chest, right? Or maybe some old coins, piece of jewelry. Got it? Okay, hold that thought.
Because this right here shows the huge disconnect. See, our idea of silver is all about history and treasure and beauty. But the reality of silver today, it's pure, high-stakes technology. We're talking about what's inside the solar panels on our roofs, the electric cars we drive, and the 5G network that, connects everything.
So, let's peel back the curtain on this secret identity. We're going to look at how silver is actually used today, not as money, not as decoration, but as a really critical industrial component.
And the key phrase you need to know is industrial fabrication. Basically, this is when silver gets picked for what it can do. It's got the highest electrical and thermal conductivity of any metal. That makes it a total superhero for engineers in a world that runs on electricity.
And this is a really crucial point. This is where silver and its famous cousin gold just go in completely different directions. Think about it. Most of the gold ever mined, it's still around, sitting in vaults. But silver? A huge chunk of it is literally consumed. It gets used up, embedded in tiny, tiny amounts inside billions of devices. And then it's kind of gone. And that has massive implications for the future.
And this consumption isn't just happening, it is absolutely booming. We're talking about a record-breaking surge in demand for industrial silver.
Just look at that number, 680.5 million ounces. That was the industrial demand for silver in 2024 alone. That's an all-time high, and it's part of this incredibly powerful trend that's reshaping the entire market. This timeline really lays it all out, doesn't it? Yeah, you see that little dip in 2020, from the global shutdowns? But just look at the acceleration after that. From 2020 to 2024, industrial demand shot up by nearly 46%. That's not slow and steady growth, folks. That is a rocket ship. So the big question is, what's fueling this thing?
Well, the answer really comes down to two of the biggest technological shifts of our lifetime, the whole green energy transition and, of course, electric vehicles. These two sectors are just absolutely devouring silver.
Okay, let's start with solar. Now, this is fascinating. You'd think that as solar panels get more efficient, they'd use less material, right? But with silver, it's the opposite. As we move from older tech like PERC to the newer, better TOPCon cells, they actually need more silver per watt. So the more solar we build and the better that solar gets, the more silver we need. The demand just keeps climbing.
And you know what? It's the exact same story with cars. Your standard gas-powered car has a little bit of silver in the electronics, maybe 15 to 28 grams. But a battery electric vehicle? Oh yeah, that thing is packed with high-voltage components, and it needs almost double the silver, somewhere between 25 and 50 grams. So every single time an EV replaces a gas car on the road, that's a net win for silver demand.
All right, so the story seems pretty simple so far, right? We've got this unstoppable industrial demand, but the silver market is way more complex than that. And that leads us to this really fascinating paradox that we saw play out just recently. So you have to ask the question, with industrial demand going through the roof, the price of silver must be skyrocketing, right? It's simple supply and demand. But is that what actually happened? You would totally think so, but the reality is, well, it's a lot more complicated. And this is the key to understanding the whole market. In 2024, even while industrial demand was hitting that new record, demand from investors, people buying coins and bars, it pulled back hard. And the result? Total overall demand for silver actually dropped by 3%. Wild, right?
And that's because you can't think of the silver price as just one single thing. It's more like a four-legged stool. Industrial demand, that's just one leg. You've also got physical investment, the coins and bars we just talked about, and that can swing wildly. Then you've got supply, which is tricky because most silver is just a byproduct of mining for other metals, so you can't just turn on the tap. And the fourth leg? The massive paper markets, where financial contracts can often push the price around more than the people actually using the metal.
So all this complexity sets the stage for a really fascinating tug-of-war in the future. It's almost like an arms race, but it's being fought at the atomic level, balancing what technology needs against what the economy can afford.
And here's how that push and pull works.
On one side, you have new tech pushing for more silver because it needs it for better performance. But on the other side, when prices get high, there's a huge incentive to pull back, to get creative and figure out how to use less. They actually call this thrifting, and it's a constant battle going on inside engineering labs everywhere.
And I love this quote because it just nails the reality of the situation. There's no single magic number for how much silver is needed. Instead, the future of silver is going to be decided by millions of tiny individual engineering decisions weighing performance against cost for every single component every single day.
So where does that leave us? What is silver really? Is it just some ancient treasure or relic of the past stuck in pirate movies? Or has its secret identity as a technological powerhouse made it one of the most critical, most indispensable metals for the century ahead? I think after looking at all this, the answer is pretty clear.